And a fine Monday morning to all of you. Welcome to the Nudelberg Daily Huddle. As you can see in the top right, Mom is here. So for all of you who have given your comments about the female touch, we're going to make it a regular thing. So good morning, Lori. Good morning,
Good morning.
Jake. Good
Yeah,
morning.
went to the bullpen for two different people today.
Yes, this is true. So lots of fun stuff. Great weekend. Yesterday was National Family Day, but before we get to that, where is Mark? Show us where Mark is.
Oh, well, you took the screenshot. Hold on.
Yeah, what?
I thought you were showing that.
You can't just ask. You have to tell him to load it.
Gotta give me a heads up. Gotta give me a little heads up here.
You gotta let him know that you want it in the show.
Little heads up. There you go.
There he is.
There he is. So I was in town for the weekend. We had an amazing time with him. It's so great to see him growing. He was hitting baseballs. We had lunch. I spent some time at the house. We went to the Dolphin game yesterday. So show us the Nudelberg family. There we go. Just a great day for you guys know I'm a Jet fan. I'm 2 for 2 with Dolphin wins. So you guys might want to keep me around. It was an awesome time. Thank you, Jake. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Kai, for making me feel great on National Family Day. Lori, you had family in town all weekend and did all kinds of good stuff as well.
We did, and I want to mention not only Family Day, but Sunday was Daughter's Day, National Daughter's Day. And so there's my daughter in some of those pictures with me. And then Mike's 2 daughters who, are like bonus daughters. But we don't want to forget our girls. That's why I'm here.
You know, it's so funny because that clearly was off of my radar. And when we started talking this morning, as we do, we get here, we prep, we sort of have that, morning little wrap. I had no idea it was National Daughters Day. So thank you for keeping us honest.
I'm keeping you on the ball.
Love it, love it, love it. So for all of you, hopefully you got a chance to spend time with your family. Family is so important. It's really interesting because some of the stats on National Family Day says that families who eat together stay together. But there was a very cool fact that said, but did you know that they may also be reducing the risk of addiction? According to the National Center of Addiction, families who eat 3 or more meals a week together reduce a teen's risk of using tobacco, alcohol, and other drugs. And I say, bullshit. I think families that spend time together push people to use alcohol.
Is that like they spend more time so they don't have enough time to go do drugs, not around their family? What if your family just does drugs with you? I don't know. That's something.
But I think, Steve, if you saw my post on LinkedIn, so I don't know about the whole addiction part, but the whole part of families eating together, right? Building bonds and trust. If you saw, now I know we're talking about our biological or home families, but I also think, right, our families at work. We broke bread the other night with Andrew, right, at his home with the executive committee. We did it last week with the staff. And you know what? There was you could feel the companionship, the friendship, the trust, and the bonds that were being built over breaking bread. So I do think there is something to that, whether it's your biological family or your work family.
So I'm disappointed I wasn't able to be there because my family was in town. We had tons of stuff going on, but take a look at all. It was just
so
great. Left is Helen's son. That he was in town with his lady, Alyssa. And so there was just so much family stuff. I hope you out there get the chance to be with your family. Today is Rosh Hashanah, so happy New Year to all of you that celebrate. It's a new year, but I'm really glad you went there, Lori, about this whole idea of family is not only blood. Family is the people you choose to spend your time with. family is, I believe, the on the ball family. The reason why we work well together is because we act like family. We consider each other. And so what a way to start off. We've got a great show ahead. So Jake will be giving his sports update. There's tons of great stuff. Lori will be talking about situational awareness. But before we do that, let's wake up. Wake up, everybody. Get up, get up, get up, get up. Wake up. Cool topic, that whole family thing. Couple of shout outs. Lori Kozneski, I still don't have my brittle, man. Where's my brittle? So I'm waiting for my brittle. And a shout out to a new huddler, Andrea Cantaneo, who is a friend of mine from way back, we reconnected on LinkedIn. I reached out and I said, hey, what up? And boom, she jumped in. And so way to go, Andrea. Nice to be here. Last shout out. I was doing my exercise on the beach Saturday morning and ran into another on the baller, a huddler, Robert Speranza. And he said to me, he goes, you inspire people because at 62, watching you, it makes it a roadmap for each of us. So shout out to you. Without further ado, Mr. Jake Shea, give me the sports roundup music. It's you, man.
And it's the sports time. Wow, look, it's really rare that he just completely turns it over to me and says, all right, it's your show. Write it, do it. But it is the third week that we've done this, and I think it is time to touch on baseball. It is almost October. There was some big news out of the baseball world. Albert Pujols hit his 700th home run. And it's interesting. And I want to kind of get some audience participation on this one and want to get your guys' thought about this. It's a very valuable baseball that he just hit right there. And Aaron Judge is in the process of making history the same way. I actually had a buddy who lives in South Florida pay for tickets for kids that live in New York to go try catch the Aaron Judge baseball just because of its worth. When Albert Pujols hit his 700th home run, the fan kept it. Said, I'm going to keep it. I want to keep it. This is what I'm going to do. And Albert Pujols said, I understand. You are the fans. Fans make this sport go. What would you do? If you were the player and if you were the fan, how would you handle the situation? Would you give it back? Would you ask for something? How would you handle?
Lori, what's your take on it?
Are you a sentimental people?
Well, there wasn't there just a player, and I can't remember who it was now, who gave somebody a bat and a ball for his ball that'll be worth, right? Who was that?
I think it was Tom Brady did it in football last year.
Somebody did it.
Right.
I think, look, coming from a baseball family, there's something really sentimental about having that ball, right? If you've accomplished it, if you've done it, there really is something, you want that. That's a it's like giving somebody the game ball. That means a lot. So, but I also understand the fan, right, who it's worth a lot of money, but it doesn't have the same sentimental value as it does to the player. So I don't know. For me, I think it should go to the player. But
I mean, for me, if I'm that person and I get a chance to sit down and be part of the memory with Pujols, is so much better than just catching the ball, which is in isolation. Boom. Now I'm talking to him. Now I'm doing a bunch of stuff. Actually, Lori, you were right. It was Judge did it in Toronto because the fan,
60.
Right.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't 60. It was earlier in the season. It was a Toronto fan gave the ball to a Yankee fan in Toronto, and he wound up meeting them. It was such a feel-good story. Yeah. So I don't understand. But it's good to see baseball.
When you catch a $7 million baseball, though, I think that, the rules change a little bit. But I hope they do the right thing. And then the other thing I want to touch on is Judge. And I don't know if anybody's been watching, but every time he steps up to the plate now, everybody rises. All rise for the Judge. And everyone's like, go hit a home run. Go hit a home run. And to me, it's very similar to like sales. It'd be like if everybody stood up for every call you take and go make a sale. Go make a sale. Oh, you didn't make a sale. He's up there. He's following his process. He's reading the baseballs. He's taking the balls. He walked twice. He struck out a couple of times. He's following his process. And I think it's really similar to baseball. You know, we talk about it. If you hit 1 out of 3, you're in the Hall of Fame. In baseball, it's a very similar mentality. You can't just ask somebody to go hit a home run. You need to continue to follow your process. And Dad, I know you just cheered. So that was kind of how I pulled it in. But it would not be a sports update if it wasn't about the Dolphins. The Dolphins are 3-0. If you were there,
Lori's wearing team colors, man.
Lori, Casey, yes, the Eagles and the Finns are both the 2 best teams in the NFL. I will tell you one thing: it was hot as shit. If you were sitting in the sun section, as we were
on the shade.
I'll tell you one thing: you want to find commonality with people. The heat was a reason that no Bills and no Dolphins fans got in any fights. We were all friends in the club section. So it was a great weekend of sports. I know we have some great content, so I want to get to that. But super fun weekend.
I want to touch on something yesterday. 2 things, actually, really quickly. One, watch Tua, okay? Right? You're reading about the difference in the coaching style and the confidence, right, that he's been building under this new coach. But then you watch the team yesterday, and I think that's the part when, as he grew his confidence, the team is now trusting him, right, and following him, and has built their confidence in him. And it was wonderful to watch yesterday. And then I do want to say, for those women out there, we got to bring the girls into football. I don't know if you heard the big announcement, but Rihanna is going to be the Super Bowl halftime show.
Does that fire you up more than Taylor Swift is the question?
Well,
Taylor Swift was initially announced.
Absolutely.
And people were like, oh, no,
Absolutely.
It's Taylor Swift.
And I got to tell you, when I turned on the TV last night, I forget who was playing, but come on, Carrie Underwood in those sexy dresses and the long legs singing that Sunday Night Football. I'm sorry, guys. The women, they're all over this. And this is
there is no doubt the NFL is doing their part to bring in new viewership. Using, the rap group last year, Rihanna this year. So good for the NFL. Super
Hey,
fun.
guys, you wanted the female perspective? You got it, man. Way to go. So last comment on it, Jonathan, just so that we're clear, it was not his head, it was his back.
If you watch him, he gets absolutely crunched on the initial sneak on the previous possession. He gets up, he's ginger. He gets hit again. Yes, it does look like he hit his head. I'm not a doctor. I don't know. I know that people pass concussion tests. They say it was his back, is what it is. I wish I was a doctor, but I skipped those years in school. So
motivational music this morning is very appropriate, because when we come out of the music, we're going to be talking about why you should be reaching out and who you should be reaching out to. Give me the 4 tops.
Now if you feel like you can't go on, as if all of your hope is gone, and your life filled with much confusion, until happiness is just an
So it just shows you how crazy I am. I found that song yesterday. I thought it was appropriate because Lori starts her leadership call next Tuesday at 8:30. And I started with the Four Tops, but I wound up with Michael McDonald. So it was not.
That's the head coach of the Dolphins, correct? That's he's called him Michael McDonald like 17 times. 17 times.
Donald Daniels. Close enough.
I said Michael McDonald.
He goes, Mike McDonald was great coaching yesterday. I go, yeah, he was awesome. He's really killing it on the sideline.
What a great song to kick off the week. I think the fundamental part of living as a human being is to reach out. If you reach out to 5 new or old people every day, we've already done that math, but I want you to reach out and support Lori. Show me the her call, Shay, please. So get GOTV Live, which is a format that we have. It's a 45-minute live call, and the reality is you're going to get up close and hear and ask, and she has a whole agenda of things. And the first one is on us. I never like to use the word free because nothing's free. But Lori, give us some insight as to what your plans are.
I think, and we've talked about this before, I think watching people as they come up the ladder, the leadership path, right? So often we just need someone to help us and coach us. And how could I have done that better? What do I need to do to grow? What do I need to do to get ahead? And I think that's what I love. For me, it's always been about helping people get to the next level. There were lots of people who helped me get here, right? And I'm still working on it all. I'm still a work in progress, I always say. So, love for everybody to join me. Let's have some great conversation about how to continue growing as leaders, as people. And I'm excited about it. So excited to share all my experience. And I know I'm going to learn too. So I'm looking forward to it.
So just FYI, Ronald Hunt, who is a huddler for quite a bit of time, I don't like the freemium model. I like sampling. You want me to buy your ice cream? Stand out there and give me a taste. I taste it. I like it. Boom, I buy it. My whole career, I've been a taste it kind of guy. So get a taste next week. It's on us. Join us. There'll be great questions, great content. And then if you decide to join us as we go forward, great. But I got a question today. It is also National Situational Awareness Day. So situational awareness is generally looked at through the lens of safety. Like, don't go down a dark alley if you're a woman, in a dark parking lot. Don't be fumbling in your bag. Look for those situations. I want to take situational awareness and point it to business. And I want both you and Jake to comment on how could you be better at situational awareness in business? Jake, start.
Oh, no. Women first, always. Lori, please. We have a get how did I all of a sudden become first in everything?
So I think, I think this is really interesting, especially when you have facilities or centers and people, thinking about, right, we're going into a recession. Situational awareness, right? We've got to run our business. What's happening day to day, staying on top of what's happening so that you can react or actually not even react, but sometimes be proactive and prepare for that situation that might arise. It's the same thing. You go to a movie theater, right? And I was never good at this, but now I look to see where the exits are. I want to be prepared for whatever's coming down the pike. Well, it's no different as a leader, right? I've got people relying on me, children, right? In our case with what I do, so I've got to know what's happening financially, right? From a safety perspective, all of those different things. I got to be ready to react really quickly.
I love that. The word I was hoping came up was preparation, because when, to Mark's point, when you break the game or your life or your business into situations, you can role play and practice it. One of the things that in my sales team, I'd have everybody come back and say, what's something that you lost yesterday? Boom. I want you to throw it out to the room and have everybody break it down and say, what could we have done differently? 2-minute drills in football is awareness, man. It's situational. What am I going to do? When am I going to do it? So Jake, being.
Yeah, I mean, in football, you prepare for every situation. And I think watching the game now that we're not a part of it, me and Mark probably get off on that part of the game more than anything. The decisions the coaches make, the players, everything that goes into it. And I think that's really fundamental while you look at other companies and the information that comes out there and the way that they handle themselves in certain situations and taking the things that other people did and applying it to you and adding it to your situations, even though you might not be in that situation. And you talk about being prepared. You can't know everything that's going to come or have an idea how you're supposed to act in that situation. And I think when you take that information and the more that people share the things that they're doing, they prepare everybody else for those situations.
I mean, Lori, you hit it on the head when you said when you go in a movie theater, it's the same thing that happens on a plane. You sit down, they are telling you about a situation that could happen, and how do we get prepared for that? So again, we go back to in life, in business, you can be prepared if you pay attention.
Listen, we do active shooter training, right? We've got cameras that have already been installed that go feed directly to the police and the sheriff's office. I mean, we are prepared. Our whole team is prepared on what to do if something should happen, right? In that particular case, we do a whole risk analysis of all the different situations that could come up. And we do that every year. And we look at that every few months to make sure that we're staying with the plan.
I mean, when I was at the board meeting last week and the chief from Coconut Creek got up and shared how real time all of this stuff was happening. It was like they can identify where, unfortunately, the dude might be in the building. And, it sort of brought me back as a young kid. We used to have these air raids. Boom, the siren would go. We'd go under the desk. And it's like, it's unfortunate, but being prepared. And Mark points out, I thought the Dolphin defense made a couple of bad decisions based on the situation. You got second and long and boom, and they're blitzing or inside, so we broke down the game. It was fun watching, with you guys. But this situational awareness breaks down into every single thing that goes on. When you start a relationship, when you maintain a relationship, and to think that you can control the situation is a fallacy. I think that's where you got to be prepared, but you can't control it. Last words, Lori.
I think just the last thing I want to add, I think Mark's kind of touched on it a little bit is, even with the financial piece, right? We look at what happens if, right, we do go into a recession. We have already played out every scenario while we're calm, while we're not in the panic mode, right? So when panic, right, when the situation arises, we've already thought it through, right? Much like in the game, right? Hopefully you've thought through the game and you've practiced what happens when that situation arises. So I think it's not only preparation, right? But it's having that plan, putting it into place ahead of time. I'm going to give you a real-time example of something that happened at the Dolphin game yesterday. So we go to our seats. I did not buy my tickets from the Dolphins. I bought them through StubHub, which I will never do again. Jake and Shay are responsible for that. That's why we wound up in the sun. But we had amazing seats. We went to an amazing club. When we got to our seats, there was an envelope sitting pinned to my seat. I opened it up, and it was the guy from the Dolphins saying, "Thanks for coming out. Looking forward to seeing you at more games. Let's chat." Situational awareness. He knew I'd be there. He capitalized on surprising and delighting me and making it personal. Way to go, Cody Dietz. Great job. You and I will be talking because I want to take my family. I want every Sunday to be National Family Day. So right. What a great day. Sign up for Lori's call if you haven't. Come on, let's go. Let's get on the ball.
Reach out to Shay. He'll get you all signed up. I can't wait. Lori will be here next Monday to jam it up again. Who is Mark Nudelberg? We don't know. You guys have
my president.
Please don't worry about me. I'm about to let my heart speak. My friends keep telling me to leave this. So let's get down to business. Let's get down to business.